Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are diving in to your month of July as well as Cancer season. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful Kindred Spirits, and anyone new who is joining us here on the channel. I really am happy to have you guys back here today because I'm also happy to be back because I took like 2 weeks-ish off to do any filming and any video making because I actually had a friend all the way from across the pond come all the way here to see me for the first time after 11 years of friendship. So it was a really special time and something I really wanted to soak up. So I didn't actually end up having enough time to be able to squeeze in videos at the same time. So I hope you do enjoy this one and that it was okay to have that little break. I am really excited because I really enjoyed getting back into these readings and getting back into tarot with you all because I took that break off as well to be with them. So anyway, my point is with all of this, thank you for your patience and for still joining me here a couple weeks later. We are going to be looking into July, like I said, as well as Cancer season. So if you're a Cancerian out there, happy birthday to you. But this will apply to all of you. We'll look at the piles here in just a moment, but I do just want to remind you, if you want to get your own private reading of your own, to look into any query or question that's been piling around in your mind and you really want to dive deep into it, then definitely feel free to check out the snail mail readings I do, where I send a letter to you in the mail. It's typewritten on a vintage typewriter, so it's easy and clear to read. It's wax sealed closed, so it's for your eyes only, and it dives deep into those questions that you have. I usually really dive deeper than I should because I just love answering your guys' questions. So if that's something you're interested in and you want to get one of your own, as well as to support yourself and the channel, then definitely feel free to send me an email and I can send you more information. I also have more information down below and through my Instagram with helpful and honest reviews over there from those who have received their own. So if that's something you're interested in, like I said, check those out. But we're going to go ahead and look at the piles. So we have 3 different piles here today. I was kind of going for a beachy theme with the water energy of Cancer season. So speaking of beaches, I actually have no idea if this is sodalite or some other kind of crystal. So I just call it my beach crystal because it looks like the beach and the waves. So if you're feeling this one for the beach crystal, then that is pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have this piece of lapis lazuli in this really interesting blocky shape. So if you're feeling called to this one, then that is pile number 2. And last but not least here for pile number 3, if you're feeling called to this shell of ammonite, then you may be feeling called to the rainbow energy of pile number 3. But before you start heading off to the timestamps, as always, I'd like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me in just a moment to really connect with each of the piles, connect with your own guides if you'd like to, and to connect with your own intuition. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no rules to this. You can choose all 3 of the piles. You can choose a pile, change your mind, take little bits from each of them. There really are no rules. So all of the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I said, if you'd like to support yourself as well as this channel to keep it running here, then definitely feel free to check out those snail mail readings. They're a great way to support the channel as well as the other offerings that I do with magical stamps and also magical spell and ritual paper sets and many others. So feel free to check that all out down below in the description, but we're going to go ahead and get started here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this beach stone, then this is the pile for you, as we are going to be exploring your next month, or technically we've already started the month of July, but just seeing what you got going on for the month of July as well as for Cancer season. So even if you're not a Cancer out there, this is still going to apply to you as it's an entire season that we're all affected by. But those of you who are Cancerian out there, happy birthday to you all. We are going to be doing this reading reading with the charms, as well as several different oracle decks and the Line Strider Tarot as our main tarot deck. I'll have all of this listed, as always, down below in the description in case you are curious. But let us begin. It's been a while since I've done these readings, so hopefully I'm not too rusty, but I've been taking a couple of weeks off so that I could see one of my best friends who I'd never seen in person before after a relationship of 10 years as a friendship. So it was really, really exciting and really, really fun, but I'm getting back into everything, so do be patient with me if I ramble in this or go in odd directions. Maybe it'll actually be good. So let's see. Group 1, what do you got going on for the month of July? Let's see those main energies going on. So Group 1, what does Group 1's month of July look like in those main themes and energies coming forward? Ooh, we got the Knight of Pentacles. You guys are practical, getting things done. 10 of Pentacles. Wow, you guys are working hard this month for sure. And you also got the 3 of Wands. Wow, this is a very straightforward reading for you guys. Very practical, hardworking, getting your stuff done, prioritizing what your priorities are, and making sure that you stay on track. That is what this looks like to me. Does seem like there could be, for you guys, mixed into all of that, a bit of maybe like family pressure, or like pressure from a boss, or like pressure from a higher up in some way, whether that's in your career, whether it's in your family, whether it's someone you just really look up to that's kind of putting a bit of pressure on you to move forward. Sometimes that can be really good pressure, right? If we're getting outside of our box, or we're getting something done, working towards a deadline that we're really pushing for, or trying to make something happen and working really hard for it and hoping for those results. So if that's the case, that's really good. But for some of you, I also get this feeling too that it could be a negative pressure, where it feels a little overwhelming. But most of your cards aren't showing that overwhelm. So I feel like the majority of you are actually feeling maybe like a more healthy amount of pressure being put on a project, or being put on you to get something rolling and moving and getting something done, or working towards a project or a goal that you have in mind, and having them really back you up, maybe even being a really good mentor or helper in this project, or overseeing it in a way that doesn't feel like they're digging their claws in, but rather that they are finding ways to help you to continue to move forward on this project or goal, because you do have the 3 of Wands as well as the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles, out of all of the knights, this is the most practical, most hardworking, but they're also slow-moving knight. So this is not a knight that tries to fly forward and defeat the dragon, right? This is the knight that takes their time, that, goes one day at a time, works on on, like, say you were hunting a dragon or something, like a knight would do in a medieval tale, right? They're the kind of person that would set the traps and check on if there's footprints, and like really taking their time and making sure to not rush into anything. They do not rush. They're very practical, they take their time, and they're very considerate about their time. There's also a lot of good planning skills that come from this knight. So I feel like you guys are going to be really good planners as well. A planner is, like a literal planner, is going to be really helpful to you. And whether that's on your phone, whether that's written down, whether it's even just in your head, but making sure that you're really planning things out, putting down to-do lists, doing what you got to do to make sure you stay on task, and that you're working one task at a time, just like the Knight of Pentacles would, right? They take things one step at a time, and not fly through it. And that's going to help you make a lot of progress, because you also have the 3 of Wands, and the 2 of Wands is about planning, thinking ahead, being like, okay, what do I want to do? What am I going to do? The 3 of Wands, on the other hand, just following that too, is all about forward movement. It's about actually taking those plans and getting them off paper and into reality. So how can you take the plans and goals and ideas and even fantasies that you have inside your head that you'd like to put into reality? How are you going to take it from paper into reality? That's what this month is all about. It's about not just having these goals and having these ideas, but having that nice positive pressure on you to move forward towards your goals and taking it one step at a time. So this is a really, really nice lineup for you guys moving forward into your month of July and as you're continuing into July. But of course, we want to look further. So I'm going to pull, and I did an entire video on this new deck called the Quiet Rebel. If you didn't see that video, I'll have it linked down below. But this deck has been so interesting and fun, and I had to pull it out for you guys again today. And so what I want to do with this one is see an energy that's most in your favor this month, right? Or a blessing on its way into you, but from the kind of flavor of a quiet rebel, which is all about like the rebellion from within. So I'm really excited to see what you guys get for this one. So what energy is most in your favor this month? What energy is most in your favor? Ooh, we got two here. I think I'm going to take the top one here. Okay, so you got wildfire momentum. That definitely makes sense with everything that you have here. Like I said, you didn't really have the knight that wanted to like push. Like usually if you think of a fire kind of sign of the knights, it would be the Knight of Wands. But because you do have a bit of wand energy happening over here with the nice momentum of both the Pentacles cards, I feel like having an extra bit of boost from this wildfire card of momentum is going to be really helpful. And I think, like I said, that momentum is really coming from, and I can even see it like in this red over here on this person from the Ten of Pentacles, this person that's almost like standing behind you and moving you forward, is kind of representative of this card. So I feel like there's a person or a particular like maybe time pressure that's coming in here to move you forward, to give you that momentum, right? Because when there's a wildfire, like you got to put it out. Like you don't have time to wait or slow down or take the entirely slow path. So even though you are planning and being very practical about things, there could be a bit of a time crunch on this that you have to like, planning is important in making those goals happen, but it's also important for you to sometimes have to just be a little bit spontaneous or try something new or do something outside of your element. And I feel like that's coming in here with this wildfire card, and it's showing you that you don't always have to have it entirely planned out. Have good plans, but it's okay if those plans get a little bit mixed up or need a quick change because of those time pressures or those deadlines that are coming in. Also with the word, not wildfire, but the word momentum as well, it just makes me think that, again, that's an energy most in your favor this month. So having that momentum, that snowball effect, that when you get one task done, it gets you closer and closer and closer to your end point, which is getting that fire out, which is getting that pressure off. So really exciting to have this card in your favor this month, which just shows me, again, that everything is quite aligned for you. You don't have a lot of huge roadblocks in your path so far that we have showing up here. Rather, the biggest roadblock that you would have is yourself. So if you're the one holding back your own momentum, then you're also holding yourself back for those goals that you're working towards and trying to put into reality and make happen. So really, your biggest enemy is only going to be yourself this month, which isn't to say that that isn't a hard enemy at times, but I also think that, like I said, there's a lot in your favor that's pushing you forward, that's helping you to move forward. And if this is feeling like a blessing from a spirit guide for you guys in some way, then I would definitely also maybe have a conversation with them, and if you can, but also if you're wanting that validation that they're there and helping to push you forward and to give you that momentum, they're making sure things fall into your path, that you get those opportunities that you need to make this happen. So things are very aligned for you. So let's go ahead and move to a card for relationships this month. Just checking in on how relationships are this month. This could be related to any relationship you wish to have like a bit of a chat with the cards with, but we're also going to be just looking on the broad scale of relationships in general: romantic, platonic, familial, spiritual, with yourself. So let's see. What do you guys got going on for the month of July within relationships? So you have both power and breathe. Ooh, so it says breathe, calm, rest, stop, and just be, which definitely feels like that night energy. But then you also have power, take hold of what you know is yours. So there's this this really nice balance between the wand cards and the pentacle cards, the fire and the earth. And when you have fire and earth working together, you get like magma, you get volcanoes, you get moving rock, something that seems like it would be a really hard goal to make happen, and yet you're still making that rock move. So it really feels like something's happening there within even relationships, right? This is aligned on all levels of your life, but within relationships, if that even is possibly the goal that you're after here, maybe there's a time crunch because of them only being here for a certain amount of time or something like that. But what I'm trying to say here, though, is within relationships, there is this feeling, too, of a nice power balance, that there isn't this imbalance of power, that, again, if people are helping to work with you or helping to help you out in some way, the pressure is a good thing. The ways in which they're encouraging you are really good and really supportive. And it's something that doesn't feel like, again, like they're sinking their teeth in or getting in your way, but rather trying to help carve a way for you forward. I also think in both of these cards there's 3 flowers. One's not entirely bloomed here, but there are 3 flowers in each of these cards, which does also make me think of the 3 of Pentacles, which showcases, again, a lot of really good and helpful teamwork, construction, building, making things work together in a really nice balanced way. And so it also makes me think that within your relationships, you're really going to have there could be constructive criticism coming in that is from a really healthy and helpful place. And also it could showcase here too that your relationships are also building. So if you're still at the very beginning stages of a new friendship or a new relationship, a new coworker that you're meeting, whatever it may be, those are also really building as well in a really nice, steady pace that doesn't feel overwhelming. So that's really nice too, to see that your relationships are also broadening and growing and deepening as well in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming. All right, so to finish off your reading, we're going to pull some charms here in just a moment, but I also want to pull you another card here looking into Cancerian season or Cancer season. So again, even if you're not a Cancer or a Cancerian, then this is still going to apply to you, because for me, I am surrounded by a lot of different Cancers in my life, and they are wonderful at, especially within relationships, trying to keep people together and trying to make sure that people continue to form bonds and form really deep relationships. So I really want to pull a card here to see how you can also continue to forge these relationships moving forward, and possibly even a relationship with yourself or with the spirit guide that feels like it's coming forward here. So we're just going to see what comes forward for you guys and go from there. Ooh, you have the Sun. Interesting. Most of these cards are just regular cards like this, but then you sometimes will get some of these like celestial cards, which are like the sky, the moon, the sun, the stars. And in this case, you got the Sun. And the Sun is all about brightness. It's about joy, positivity, happiness, but it also can go a little too far sometimes. Exposing, think of a sunburn, going too far, not being protected from the intensity of power that can be upon you. That the sun can be overbearing, or it can sometimes just be a little bit too powerful. But because you have so much happening here, showcasing a balance in relationships, and even with the way that it's balanced on both sides of this Sun, it feels like that balance is going to be continuing into your relationships this month. So I think that when it comes to Cancerian season or Cancer season, it would be a really good idea for you to continue to shine light on your relationships, shine joy on your relationships, and continue to forge those relationships, but making sure that you also keep that balance of power, making sure you're not trying to push your claws into other people's business where it isn't maybe meant to be, or doing the opposite of the support that you are looking for. So making sure that you also continue to give the same kind of support that you're receiving, but making sure not to dig your claws in or be a bit overbearing, or cause those sunburns because you're prying a little too hard. You're exposing yourself to more than your share or your needs to know about this person or know about the relationships in your life. So let's finish off with some charms and see if you guys got anything else coming forward that they wish to share. So feel free to send your energy in and we will pull some charms for you. Okay, interesting. Let me zoom you in. So I thought it was interesting that over down here on breathe, calm, rest, stop, and just be for relationships, you got the organized charm, which tells me too that when it comes to your relationships, as it seems like almost a bridge here, when it comes to your relationships this month, like I said, shining a light on them is really important too. Making sure to put relationships outside of everything that we talked about here with those goals and plans that you're putting into reality, outside of work, making sure to plan them in as well and shine a light on them as well, organize them and plan them into your life too, because I feel like they could be a really good little rest stop for you, that you maybe need that rest, that time to just giggle and laugh with a friend and be silly and not have to think about work or think about how you're progressing in life, and just calm. So I think that's something that would be really helpful for you this month, is reaching out to a friend that would feel really calming. You also got the number 6. 6 is a number of harmony, so it's another sort of indicator here to me that this is all about that balance of power, and that your relationships are in a very well-balanced state right now, or if they haven't been, that they're going to be balancing over this month, especially if you put in that hard work to plan them in. And plan those conversations in that maybe are needed to create more harmony and balance. You also got the little sparrow here, which just makes me think of, again, like joy and positivity. Like, if you ever seen sparrows like all jump out of a bush together and then like fly through the sky, they're just zooming around and having a good time. And there is that like camaraderie that's coming forward from that as well, that joy, that humor, that laughter. So I really love that's coming forward for you guys. And then finally here on Wildfire with momentum, on their cape you have this sewing machine, which almost makes me think it's like literally sewing this cape onto you. Again, there was like someone standing behind you, almost like they are your cape. So in this case, I really feel like there's someone who is not digging their claws in, but rather trying to be constructing themselves into your life to help you move something forward. So maybe that's like, again, a boss, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a therapist, maybe it's a coworker, whoever you think would be that really helpful cape on your back, someone who could be like a sidekick, or someone who can help to be a really good resource for you, is really good to have someone so into your life, and to give you that momentum that you maybe need. So really love the cards and charms that you got here for your month of July. I hope that you are enjoying your month already, as it's already begun. And if you are, and you enjoyed this reading, definitely let me know in the comments down below what you thought, what you saw, and feel free to give this video a like as well. It really helps for the algorithm and all of that. So I really appreciate it. Also, if you are interested in these pick a card readings, I put them out usually every single Monday. It's been kind of weird this last month, but should be every single Monday moving forward, to give you another reading or another kind of video that you guys would be interested in on art magic or charm casting. So do let me know if there's a subject you'd like me to, or a topic that you'd like me to check in on. And if you're also interested in any of the snail mail readings that I do, those are open as well right now. If you'd like to get a snail mail reading sent your way, wax sealed, closed for your eyes only, in the mail, for you to read and enjoy, typewritten on a vintage typewriter, then definitely feel free to check that all out down below to answer any question or query that's been on your mind with the cards. So feel free to check that all out down below. Lots of helpful and honest reviews there too. But I'm going to go ahead and close off this reading. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me today. I really enjoyed this. It's been such a while, so I think that little break was actually good for me as well. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, if you've decided to choose this piece of lapis lazuli, then this is the pile for you, as we are going to be exploring your month of July, even though it's already begun, as well as looking into Cancer season for those Cancerians out there and everyone who isn't a Cancerian. This is still going to apply to you, so definitely feel free to stay tuned for that part of the reading. But we're going to be diving in, so happy birthday to anyone who is Cancerian out there for your month. But we're also going to be looking into everybody else with the charms, the tarot cards, the oracle cards, as well as the specific tarot deck today of the Line Strider Tarot, which I'm very excited to be using. It's been a really good one so far. But I'll have, as always, everything listed down below in the description in case you're curious. But we're going to get right into it. Like I said in the intro, I took such a break for these last couple of weeks, so I'm a little bit rusty, but I'm having a lot of fun. I think the break was actually quite good for me. So I hope you guys enjoy this reading, and yeah, let's get right into it. So what do you guys got going on for your month of July for those main energies coming forward? What main energies are coming forward? Ooh, we got some wand energy with the king. Let's see what else. I love that king card. It's just like so perfectly the King of Wands. So group 2. Oh, and you got the King of Pentacles. Wow. Let's see here. And you have the Two of Pentacles. It's really interesting that you got the Two of Pentacles, all about like juggling. As you can see, they're kind of juggling two things. They're trying to balance everything. They're trying to keep things in balance as everything continues to shift. Just like a juggler does, right? It's not going to be the same cycle of the way the balls are thrown in the air every single time. They're constantly having to move their body and contort to make sure that they continue to catch these balls, unless they're really good and like a machine. There's going to be that human error in there. There's also going to be a little bit of a push and pull and move and having to constantly adjust. And so I feel like you guys are really working on adjusting from one way or the other. Like you have, right, like the Two of Pentacles is all about two different ideas that you're juggling, and you're juggling between the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles energy, which, like I said, the King of Wands, fiery, hot. They've got a lot of spice, right? They are very good at putting themselves out there and making their ideas known. They're very powerful, confident, charismatic, and joyful as well. I feel like sometimes we can look at the King of Wands and they can feel very like fiery and in your face, but a lot of the time they're also very magnetic and have those really joyful and bubbly personalities too, that make them really good leaders, because they can both lead from that idea of being very fiery and passionate, but they also are soft and understanding in the idea that they have to know that some people need a little bit more gentle energy, or a smaller fire, smaller flame, versus this big bonfire of energy and power being brought into their face. So there's this gentle lion as well as this fierce and ferocious lion coming forward from the King of Wands. But then you also have the other energy you're juggling here of the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is all about being very practical, taking their time, taking the long path, all about long projects, a long, slow, kind of going energy, because when they do that, they're also going to, just like the earth element that the Pentacles is connected to, they can grow mountains, they can get very high, but it takes a lot of time, right? The earth has to move mountains to be able to get as high as they do. So with the King of Pentacles energy, this is much slower. It's not as fast as a spark. It's much slower energy, but it's slow energy that always pays off. And so the fact that you have both of these that you're kind of juggling, sometimes we think of juggling as if it's like, I don't know which one to choose, but rather I feel like you're trying to find a good balance between both of these, right? The King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. And because this didn't fall in the center of your reading to have them like showing that balance, I feel like where it is out of balance right now is that maybe you're trying to push really hard to make something happen quickly, fast, moving, pushing, those mountains together, but they're not budging. It's not going to happen faster than it is meant to. And so maybe there's a project you're working on, maybe there's an idea or a dream or something you're really excited and fired up about, very passionate and ambitious about, that you want to make happen, but by trying to push it, by trying to fudge it forward, by trying to do every remedy in the book, trying to do every way that you can make it happen all in 1 month and cram it all in, does not actually make that progress happen any faster. If anything, it could possibly hinder your progress on what you're trying to make happen. If you've ever tried to make a fire and, you're like, you've got this raging fire going, but then the fire suddenly goes out when you keep adding more and more and more, because the fire cannot keep up with the amount that you're putting on it. And so I feel like this month is all about you trying to find that good balance between the ambition that you have and making it practical, putting that ambition into a practical form. This is kind of like pile number 1, but a very different flavor. So if you're not entirely feeling this one, feel free to check out pile 1 as well. But I really like that you are not trying to make it so that you're only choosing one or the other kind of king leadership energy in your life, but rather trying to find a bridge between them, having them work together. So let's go ahead and see what you've got going on for another card. This one is going to be on and with the Quiet Rebel, which I did a recent reading on the Quiet Rebel. If you want to see more about this deck, because I really, really like it, then definitely feel free to check out this video up here somewhere, because I just feel like you should check it out. With this deck of the Quiet Rebel, which I just recently got, and I'm still really in love with it and still learning a lot from it. So if you want to see an entire reading on this one, I have it linked in the description, but I'll also have it linked up here at the top as well if you want to go check out that video after this one. But yeah, with this one, we're going to be looking into blessings coming into your life from spirit guides, or just odd blessings and good luck. But also you can see this, if that doesn't entirely spark for you, you can see this as an energy most in your favor this month, a tool, the best tool in your tool belt. So let's mix these up and see. So group 2 here. What is the best tool in your tool belt this month? Ooh, you got Dance in the Rain, Joy. Interesting. Definitely feels like a bit of a pivot from everything else we had here, because we're getting sort of a feeling that things aren't all going to work out for you this month, right? We've got this big balancing, harmonizing energy. So like the juggler, you have to constantly adjust. And so something that you're maybe adjusting for is possible setbacks, delays, right, that you would get from the rain checks, and so some of you might be finding that you're having to just make that, even though it's going against your plans, this is where your ambition might actually work in your favor, right? Even though it's raining outside doesn't mean we can't still make a fire. So it might be more tricky, it might be more difficult, but sometimes that difficulty, that can be fun. And so for you guys, I feel like you are maybe going to have some delays in your path, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to be able to continue to move forward, or that sometimes the delays themselves are where the joy and fun is, if you kind of change your mindset. So there's something about a mindset shift here from thinking of the rain, the delay, the wall in your path, as not something to be a negative experience, but rather turning it and shifting it into a positive one, a one that if that didn't happen, it actually could have been worse, or it actually turned out better because of that wall in your path, because you had the rain check, because something shifted. So something that's really going to be in your favor this month is that mindset shift. Also joy as well, just dancing in the rain, enjoying, that the idea that everybody else would be going inside when it starts raining, but you stayed outside and you tasted the rain and you danced in the rain and you enjoyed it, even though there's a bit of risk there. So there is this energy too, of that King of Wands kind of still coming forward and having a bit of fun. So joy at the heart of your reading. So let's go ahead and see an energy coming forward for you guys for relationships this month. So we're going to look specifically into relationships on the whole, but if you have a specific relationship you want to kind of put into the cards, definitely feel free to. It can be a familial relationship, a relationship with a spirit guide, with yourself, with a friend, with a romantic partner, however you wish. But let's see, for relationships this month, what's going on for group 2. Group 2. Okay, you have compassion. And it says here, heart sees, compassion, tread a little more tenderly. And I love this flower. It's so pretty. But compassion, tread a little bit more tenderly. There may be situations, and this almost feels related to this dance in the rain with the rainbow up here and the rainbow kind of going on in this card as well. That maybe the reason why there are delays is because you're maybe having to tend to someone else. Maybe you're having to put your ambitions down to go tend to someone else, or make sure that you are being compassionate to someone else in their situation. Maybe having to put yourself, not last, but maybe not first for a moment. Being a really good compassionate leader in their life. So this could be a little one, maybe they got sick and that's or they got, something came up. Maybe it's a friend, a family member that you're looking after, or that you're having to help through a hard time with. Whatever it may be, it seems that you're going to be really compassionate towards someone in your life, and to show a little bit more tenderness, and that's going to possibly be part of this delay. But like I said, if you take it and you think of it like, oh, they're such a burden, or they're so annoying, or I don't want to help, or I got this thing to do, and kind of keep putting yourself in the way of the joy that you could be having with this person to help them through a difficult situation, or to have this compassion come forward, then you're also going to be putting yourself back and the relationships in your life back as well. So that mindset shift as well, to be like, okay, well, maybe this isn't happening, the thing that I wanted to be going and doing, but maybe it actually ended up being better because I now get to connect with them, have joy with them, help them through a difficult situation. And you could actually find that the service and resource and compassion and tenderness that you can bring to a relationship this month could be really rewarding for both parties. So I really like seeing that come forward, especially since we're now going to pivot to a card for Cancer season. And like I said, happy birthday to anyone who is Cancerian out there. But even if you're not, this is still going to be a season, for me, I find a great season to reconnect with people. So I find it interesting that this is being highlighted here, especially with that Dance in the Rain joy card, because relationships are super important to people who are Cancerian. They just find that they want to kind of be the glue in a family, or be the glue to a chosen family. Like, they want to keep people together, build community, foster those relationships. And so I want to see how you're maybe fostering those relationships in your life, and how you can better do so. So group 2 for Cancer season. I love that. Okay, I love this card so much. So you got big blue stem, which is, like I said, these are the prairie cards. So it's like a plant that grows in the prairie. And it says, how can I be of service? Shelter. And what I love illustrated on this card is that they are literally sheltering all these flowers. So if this big blue stem did not grow, then these flowers would get scorched. They wouldn't be able to get the humidity that they need, and all of the different resources that they need, by just having someone be themselves, right? So it's not that you have to do anything extra special for someone to be compassionate. Just being there for someone, just literally being there, can make such a difference to those whom which you are sheltering. And because you got so many king energies as well, showcases this huge leadership energy, this energy of again, being the taller person, being the person whom which people can lean on, is really, really important. So I feel like this month, to foster those relationships, or rather for Cancer season and the month, is to by just being yourself, by just being compassionate and understanding, being tender, and a place in which people can softly land, I think is going to be really important to foster those relationships. You don't have to do anything special or go out of your way. Just being yourself, being kind, and being compassionate is all it really takes. You don't have to do anything special just be there. So that's really nice to see coming forward as well for you guys. I really love your cards so much. So let's go ahead and pull you some charms to finish off your reading and see what else you got coming in for the month of July. Feel free to have a little look here or chat with them, whisper to them, and we'll pull some for you. Okay, interesting. You had a lot of charms that wanted to fall, so I'm gonna drop those as well. Okay, let me zoom you in and we'll have a little look. So interestingly, between the big blue stem of how can I be of service, as well as that juggling energy that we had of the Two of Pentacles, you have the steering the ship charm. So what's really interesting is that it didn't fall on either of them, which showcases to me that for you to find balance, it's that you have to kind of let go a little bit, be there for other people, let go of your own dreams and ambition and not get in your own way or get in other people's way, mostly in your own way, to be in other people's, to be like there for other people. It kind of just feels like, again, like a really good captain of their ship is going to be the person who knows how to balance both of those two things, balance your ambition and goals and the help and service that you can be to others. The other things you have coming in here, you have the letter F showing up here on shelter, so maybe this could give you an initial or an indication of who it may be that you're sheltering. Other things, you've got the number 8 showing up here up in the clouds, which tells me 8 can be related to money, it can relate to infinity or something that's a constant project that you're working on. So the delay, yes, it can be annoying or it can get in your way, but it's something that you still have time for, something that's not going away, that you have more time than you think to come back to, and it's okay if you have to miss out on something, because you also got the miss charm, like from Battleship. It's gotten quite grubby. I need to clean some of these, but yeah, this one is all about, feeling like you've missed something. And so it really feels like, yeah, you might miss an opportunity because you're helping to shelter someone, but I also think that it's going to benefit you in the long run, and maybe even take a bit of overwhelm off of someone else, because you also got this near like the little duckies that you're sheltering, or the little flower that you're sheltering, and you got the overwhelm charm. So it really feels like you're going to help someone through some overwhelm, maybe some anxiety or a mental health aspect coming forward. So overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you, group 2. I hope that this has been useful and helpful to you guys, and if it was, definitely be sure to give this video a like and let me know, as always, in the comments down below. I really do love hearing your thoughts. And like I said, I had a couple weeks off there, but usually every single Monday I put out a new video for pick a card readings, and every once in a while when I have the time, I also like to put out some educational videos on charm casting or art magic. So if that's something you're interested in, or if you have any suggestions, definitely let me know down below, or subscribe to keep in touch with all of them. And if you're interested in getting a reading of your own, if you want to get a private reading, then definitely feel free to check out these snail mail readings that I do, where I send a letter to you in the mail. It's typewritten on a vintage typewriter, so it's easy and clear to read and has that fun antique feel, but also it is wax sealed closed, so it's for your eyes only, and it's on any topic or question that you have in mind, where I send that letter to you in the mail for you to read and enjoy on your own for many, many moons to come. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely feel free to check out all the information down below, or send me an email. I would love to reply and give you all the information you need. You can also find more information and helpful and honest reviews over on my Instagram. So with that all said, thank you so much for hanging out here with me today. I had so much fun because it's been a couple of weeks off for me, so I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose this piece of ammonite, with this rainbow on the shell, then this is the pile for you, as we are going to be looking into your month of July, even though it's already begun, to see what's going on for you for those main energies and other big shifts that may be happening. But we're also going to be looking into Cancer season. So if you are Cancerian out there, happy birthday to you. And even if you're not, then this is still going to be a season that affects us within relationships this month, which we're going to be exploring with a card later on. So all the charms we're going to be using here today, as well as a different mix of tarot and oracle decks, which as always I'll have listed in the description down below. But the tarot deck of choice today is the Lion Strider Tarot, which I haven't pulled out in ages, so it's been really fun playing around with this one. Gonna have to pull it out more often. But definitely feel free to get yourself cozy, settled, comfy for this. Feel free to connect with the cards and get, ready for them. But like I told the other piles, if I'm a little rusty with this going forward, or if I stumble over anything, it's only because I've had a couple weeks off from these readings. But I've actually found that the break probably was really nice for me, because I'm really enjoying pulling some cards for you guys today. So let's go ahead and pull some cards for you for group 3. So the month of July, what do you guys got going on for the month of July? For this month, you guys have the Page of Wands, as well as the Seven of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Ooh, we have a lot of blue, and we have a little bit of green, but mostly that blue and orange is really coming forward here with the cups and the wands. The swords a little bit, but it still kind of has a wand energy to this for some reason, with all the smoke and everything. So there's a fire-water dynamic happening here, a bit of a dissonance, a little bit of a opposites attract feeling to things. And so we've got two, this has been going on a lot with the cards this time around, but we're getting a lot of court cards within each of the readings. And this time you have the Knight of Cups and the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is the ones coming up the most here for you, and the Page of Wands is an explorer. When I think of the Page of Wands, they're the person who wants to explore, get out in the world. They want to be very worldly. They want to explore everything and deeply and entirely. They're the person that would go backpacking across Europe just so they can go to every country and learn every language and go to every place, and learn all the history. They're an adventurer, an explorer. They want to learn, and they're very curious. But then alongside that energy, you also have the Knight of Cups. And then the Knight of Cups is, out of all of the knights, they're the most romantic knight. They're the knight that really speaks and works from the heart. So where the Page of Wands is an explorer, kind of working with their mind, but also working with this ambitious energy that they have, the Knight of Cups is propelled and moves forward based off of their heart, what their heart wants. They do not work off their head. They do everything from the heart. And that can be really good, but it can get you into a dangerous situation as well. And what's going on next to all of it is the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords, like I said, has kind of a wand energy to it. So I feel like these two are quite connected. But the Seven of Swords is all about obscurity. It's about not knowing the facts, not knowing the truth of a situation. A lot of people will immediately be like, well, this person's stealing things, so that this card must be about stealing. But we don't know that for sure. They could be taking these swords and trying to get them cleaned for someone. They could be trying to make sure that they're in their proper place. Maybe they just got back and are carrying them for all the knights who were in battle. Who knows, right? We don't actually know what's happening here. And so there's an obscurity, there's a missing information. And so when we're looking at these three cards together, what missing information are we seeing? Something about the Page of Wands. So maybe there's missing information for you guys going into this month about an adventure you want to go on. Missing information about where to go, looking for red flags in maybe places that you're staying if you're physically traveling, or looking for missing information when it comes to things you still need to research about either traveling that you're going on or this ambition that you have to be curious about the world. So whether that's a new hobby you want to try, a new skill that you're trying out, whether it's something that your heart is very much desiring to go after, maybe there's even a romantic side to this reading because of the Knight of Cups. Some of you might be feeling this ambition to find someone, but not really reading the flags, not really looking for all of the information that you need, and kind of just running with things because your heart says so and because your mind is excited about it. So it's making sure that you don't miss information this month, that there could be situations in which you are very much easily charmed or manipulated, put in situations that you don't necessarily want to be in. So I feel like this is more of a gentle sort of warning or flag being put up for you to make sure that you look at all the angles. And this, like I said, could be romantic relationships or new friendships that you're forming, maybe even new networking that you're getting into with particular people. And making sure that there aren't any shady things happening behind the surface. There may not be, but that missing information is there, and until you seek it out to find the truth of it, it's always going to kind of be there. So, don't sign any contracts without looking at the fine print. Make sure that you're really making sure you're not being manipulated or put into a situation in which your heart is being pulled in a direction, or your excitement and ambition and curiosity is being pulled in a direction in which is very obscured. So that's the kind of gentle warning that's coming in for you guys for this month with the energy coming forward. But I also think it's going to be a month to get curious and a month to kind of lead from the heart, but make sure that you don't also miss out on some of the information that is needed from the mind. So let's go ahead and pull you another card. This one is going to be from the Quiet Rebel Oracle, which I am loving so much. I did an entire video, which I'll have linked down below, on this deck if you want to check it out, to see more of the Quiet Rebel within you and how you're maybe working with that quiet rebellion from within to out. But we're going to pull this one today to look into a very different kind of reading where we're looking into a blessing coming forward for you for the month, whether it's from a spirit guide or from just good luck in your life. But if you're not really into the blessing idea, you can also see this just as a card or an energy most in your favor this month, the tool best in your tool belt. So let's see what that is for you, group 3. What tool is best for you to use this month in your tool belt? Group 3. Energy most in your favor, a blessing on its way in. Okay. Ooh, nothing is normal. Unconventionality. Ooh, I have not, like I said, I'm still learning this deck, so I haven't gotten this one before. I love when I get a new one with you guys on camera that we get to explore and dive into. We've got these beautiful images with the sun shining right behind. There's a child playing around, getting curious. It kind of feels very whimsical, very Alice in Wonderland vibes. So nothing is normal, unconventionality. I'm just gonna stick with that pronunciation for you guys. But anyway, this one is really kind of coming off as a card to obviously embrace being unconventional, by being a little bit weird, by being a little bit different, by doing things in a different way, by seeing from just a different perspective as well than other people are typically seeing, right? So like I said, maybe a lot of people are seeing a perspective that's happening here with this 9 of Swords, but you're really seeking out the truth. You're going to look deeper into it, and because of that, you're going to have an unconventional way of seeing things, because everybody else maybe is looking for a false truth or their version of the truth, and until you see the full picture from everyone's perspective, it's hard to see the full picture. And so for me, I feel like you're kind of looking for the full picture and making sure that you continue to seek out truth over these falsehoods or just, listening to people and taking them from their face value. So there's something going on there with that. But also just in general, outside of all of the warnings kind of energy that you had going on here, just in general, being unique, being a little bit weird, doing things a little bit differently, being a little bit silly. Totally fine. That's gonna be your superpower this month. That's gonna be something that's actually going to help you navigate the month in a much more joyful, playful, silly kind of way. And so I really like that this is coming forward for you guys for your month, because it kind of adds a very different perspective to everything, where you're not feeling the need to hold yourself back right? It almost feels like this Knight of Cups is coming forward to be like, I'm gonna just be myself, you know? And I think that that's really something that seems really easy to do, right? To be yourself, but something that is very powerful as well. So I love this. Okay, so I want to also pull you a card on your relationships this month. So you guys have, if you've seen these readings before, you know that you can send in your energy for a particular relationship that you want to look into, but we're also just going to really be looking more broadly at relationships in general and what might be coming forward for you. So let's see, group 3, what relationships are you going to have going on this kind of month? So you have optimism with look up and look brightly, as well as insight. The answers are there for those who look. Interesting, because this kind of showcases that illusion energy that I was getting from the Nine of Swords, and this illusion that sometimes our heart can put on a situation when we're really excited about something, or when we really like someone, or we lead from our heart. A lot of the time we're seeing a false perspective. We're seeing with rose-colored glasses on. We're seeing, the best of people, even though they may not have the best of intentions for us. And so there's something going on here where optimism is showing up here. Look up and look brightly. It's almost making me think of that sun right here at the center of everything, where it's just very bright and prominent, but it's also could have things hidden behind it, shadows built because of it. Right, the sun casts shadows, and so this feels like you're looking at the sun but you're not seeing the shadows. And then here with the pitcher plant, you have insight. The answers are there for those who look. This feels like the shadows. So it's making sure that within relationships this month is especially that you're looking for those red flags. You're making sure not to take everyone from their face value, but what's behind there, what's hiding in the shadows. And I'm not saying to poke and prod the bear, but just making sure that you don't just immediately have one perspective on a person and just take that face value and run with it. Making sure that you look a little bit deeper, look for those insights that might come forward, and maybe they'll even gladly give you those insights. Like I said, that they may not be red flags, or there may not be red flags happening, but because we are trained to look for only the good in the people around us, sometimes we aren't also looking for maybe the negatives and the other things that might be going on as well. Or just seeing a more clear perspective of what's going on here. Like I said, they may be cleaning the blades. They may not actually be stealing them or taking them. So it's making sure, too, that we see things from a more clear insight. So I feel like you're going to get some really good insight about someone that may be very optimistic, but also is more clear. It is more honest, more truthful. But we're going to be looking into a card now for Cancer season to see what you guys got going on for that. If you are a Cancer out there, happy birthday, like I said. But if you are not, this is still going to apply to you, because this is all about the energy of Cancerians. And we're going to be looking into how they are really good at fostering relationships and keeping relationships together and held together. They're like the glue of relationships. So I wanted to see how you could foster your relationships in your life this month and during Cancer season. So group 3 here. You've got, sweeten. What is mine to share? Really nice with that unconventionality that you've got going on over here with the honeybee now, with what is mine to share, sweeten. I really like the flowers, that pollinating energy that's going on here with each of these, because like I said, you do have a really big heart. Maybe some of you actually are within a water sign out here as well, but there's this feeling that you just want to sweeten things. You want to keep the way that you're going to keep people together and keep that continued energy together is also sharing, sharing your unique perspectives, making sure other people possibly are seeing, just the smoke. They're not seeing the full picture, and maybe you're the one to bring a unique perspective that they haven't seen, and they as well can bring a unique perspective to your situation as well, from their perspective. So there is that insight coming from both sides, but also outside of everything that we had here, just in general, to foster your relationships, is making sure to share, not only like if they're sharing a difficult story about themselves, that you share something back that could help, or if it's warranted, obviously not unsolicited, but there is this feeling of like a give and take, a push and pull, and how, pollinators are helping the plants to continue to grow. And without the pollinators, then they would not continue to grow. And without the plants, the pollinators have nothing to pollinate and can also not continue to grow. And so there is this, symbiotic relationship happening here. And so making sure that when you're fostering your relationships, that you really make sure to lean on each other in this very balanced way. And that by doing so, you're also sweetening those relationships from both sides. So let's pull some charms to finish off your reading and see what else you got coming in. So feel free to connect with the charms here, have a little chat with them, and I'll pull some for you. Ooh, interesting. So we just talked about all those relationships, right? And you got on share, what is mine to share? You have the upside down rhinoceros, which if you think of a rhinoceros, that's got to be really difficult to put one upside down. So there is this also a strength in sharing that you're gaining here. And by putting down your guard, right? If we think of a rhino, we think of the horn, we think of them charging, taking us out. But if you think of a rhino sleeping on their back, not trying to be ferocious or be menacing or be on guard, if they take their guard down, there's going to be so much more that one can share. And so fostering relationships really comes from that push and pull, that share, that reciprocal sharing that's happening here to help sweeten those relationships and to put those guards down. You also have the number 8. This also showed up last pile as well. The number 8 is all about infinity, things happening in a very equal kind of level. So again, more of that reciprocal energy, that continued feedback loop that's happening here. And maybe that feedback loop is also leading to a very peaceful nature. So it's also by being able to put your guard down, you're also able to show your unconventional views, being able to show things that you wouldn't be able to show otherwise because you have your guard up and because you're having to have these smoke and mirrors over you as well. So not a lot of charms coming forward here, but they are very clear in their messaging. So I hope you enjoyed this reading and got something out of it. And if you did, definitely be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how this connected with you. I always am curious to hear your thoughts. And like I said, I took a couple weeks off because I had a friend coming all the way from across the pond to see me, and so we were really soaking things up to see each other. But now that she's back over there, I really wanted to spend more time on these readings, and I really enjoyed doing more of them. So if you're interested in seeing more of these readings as they come out, definitely be sure to subscribe and keep up to date. I also have art magic and charm casting readings and videos and educational videos that you can check out as well. And if you're interested in getting a reading of your own, a private reading of your own that I send to you in the mail, typewritten on a vintage typewriter, so it's easy and clear to read and has that fun, unique, antique, vintage feel, as well as it being wax sealed closed for you and sent in the mail to you, then definitely feel free to check out the snail mail readings that I do, where I send those letters to you on any question or query on your mind that I can really dive deeply into. So if you're interested in that, I have helpful and honest reviews over on my Instagram linked down below, and if you want to see more information, feel free to check it out down below, as well as sending me an email. I can send you all the information you need to get started. So with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and close off your reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today, because I really enjoyed being with you all today. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.